Why, hello there. Um, this is the episode 3 of the devlog that I'm making on the tutorial from Mr. Taft Creates. Where we left off, we made this map right here. We dealt with tile maps. We did the ground, the collisions for these trees over here, this piece of wood, the trees. Um, we did the decorations also. Here's the collision, and here's the ground where the player will walk. We also set up the camera. We set up the script for the camera also. If you could just load, I could show you. There is our player. We had set up this weird skull thingies and bones. I do believe this is a chain though, but just to make like a small bit of lore to our player when this game actually comes to like gonna make something out of it. Like he was maybe summoned here by, I don't know, like a dark force or anything. Um, as you can see, the collisions are working just fine. I cannot really clip through it. We set up the camera's movements, and everything really. It's going on fine. The next episode on Mr. Taft Creates tutorial will be on camera bounds, where we'll essentially set up the levels much like in Zelda, where you have like not the levels, the zones, much like in Zelda, where you have this little bit of zone here, and then when you go here, the camera shifts from to the other zone. Well, let's do it. I'm actually sorry also because of the weird noise from last video and everything.
Okay, welcome back. So this is where we left off last time. We have our situation where our player can walk around, camera follows nice and smoothly. Oh, see, it's doing it now. See that weird tearing? That's why I prefer using tiled, is you don't get that weird tearing with tiled. Alright, well, it looks like I'm going to have to show you guys tiled. Alright, anyway, let's make it so that our camera doesn't go outside of our area here, so we're not seeing that jarring gray space over here, this infinite abyss. So the main idea behind it is our camera is positioned in space right here. If I switch over to our move tool here, I don't want my camera to go above this point, and I don't want it to go below this point. I don't want it to go farther right than, oh, not even there, like here, and farther left than like there. So essentially what I need to create is a maximum X and Y position and a minimum X and Y position. And if the camera is trying to go outside of those, I'm going to set it to, like say for example, it wants to go 2 more than the max X. I'm going to set it to just be the max X. So again, like the max Y would be up here, max X would be over here. So since I only need those 2 variables, I really only need, okay, yeah, this camera preview's off. Since I only need those 2 variables, I really only need 2 coordinates. I need a coordinate for max X, max Y, and I need a coordinate for min X, min Y. So for now, I'm going to find these experimentally, but when we code in those camera transitions where we're going from room to room, we're going to change them programmatically. So for the moment, I'm going to go back into my camera script here, and I'm going to add 2 new variables. The first thing I'm going to add is a public vector2 so that I can have an X and Y position that I'm going to call max position.
Okay, chill out for a second. Always remember to start the Visual Studio thing before I start the video. If it could just load, that would be nuts. Mm.
And another one, a public vector 2, that I'm going to call min position. Save this really, really fast. And let's input those values just experimentally, just by looking at our scene here. So right now it looks like 2.28 on X and 10 on Y. Let's see if 2.25 is good, just because I like nice. Yeah, 2.25 is good. 2.5. Yeah, that's good. All right, so my max position is going to be 2.25 and 10. And then for my min position, I'm going to move over here and down. You can't tell I'm using this white bounding box right here while I've got my camera selected. And it looks like I'd have a gray bit there, but if I switch over to game, you can't see it. So here I got...
Let's see. So, for this one, it could just load. We'll create a public, oh shit, public vector to min position. Then we create another public vector to max position. Spell. We do the same. I think that he did. Cool. Mm, cool. Maybe right here. Here maybe. So yeah, I do like these numbers like here because I am really wait. Much like Mr. Taft's. Yeah, I like nice clean numbers. 35 because reasons, and this one here is really perfect. Save. Now it's set up.
Y is -2. -2. And I'll say that X is -10.35. All right, so now what I have to use is a function called clamp. Clamp takes any specific value and makes it so that it cannot go above or below a set maximum and minimum for that value. So back in Visual Studio here, I'm going to say that my so when I have my target position here, I'm going to modify that before I do my lerp. So this is where I'm going to be doing the clamping. So I create my target position, and then I have my transform position lerp from where it is to where it wants to be. I'm going to modify this target position. So I'm going to say target position dot x is equal to mathf.clamp. And this takes three variables. It takes what value you want to clamp, which is going to be target position.x, what I want the min to be, and the min is going to come from this min position. So I'm going to do min position.x, and the max is max position.x.
Oh, right.
I'm going to do the same clamp.
Cool. Cool. So to be target position.x equal to math f dot clamp, if I could just spell, to be target position.x min position.x min position.x and max position.x. Then we do the same for target target position.y mathf dot clamp target position.y and position.y and max position.y. Man, I don't know what mathf does, but hey.
Clamp to my target position.y. So target position.y is equal to mathf.clamp. I'm going to clamp it between, or the thing I'm going to clamp is target position.y. I'm going to clamp it between min position.y and max position.y. All right, cool. So let's save our script really quickly. Jump back into Unity here. Let that compile. And let's see if it worked. All right, cool. So I'm going to hit play. Let's walk up. And there we go. We're bounded at the top of the screen. We're bounded at the right. Bounded at the bottom. And we're bounded at the left.
Cool. Let's see if it works. I don't know if it is a problem with the rendering of this thing or something, man, but hey, I don't know what this does. I don't know if it's a problem with rendering or oh shoot. It is weird now. Hmm. What is going on? Curious. Oh. I don't know what happened. Um, camera movement. Time control. Hmm. I do believe there was something here. Yeah. Oh, right. So we do window package manager. Window package manager. Let me just. I will fix this later. Package manager. 2D. Pixel perfect. I already have it. Pixel perfect camera. Okay. Pixel perfect camera. Let me put it right there. Pixel unit. Leave it at 16. Let's see. Yeah, it completely. Oh shoot. Fence resolution. Super 16. Hmm. Yeah, that might be a better way to set this up. It's even colliding with the script. But the camera is still weird. It's still pretty weird. Must be some problems here. Transform position, target position, target position to tree, target position dot x, target position dot y, transform position dot z. Transform position equal to time. What's happening? Let me just see. Why? I don't quite get it. So, oh, it's unparented? Mm. Mm. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Wait. I don't know if this will in any way fix it, but hey. Minus. Right. Will this work? Who fucking knows? But anyway. Fuck off, it did. Oh god, I'm stupid. I am stupid. We should look at that, it works. Yeah, it's fine now. Ah, fuck off. I am stupid. My mouse keeps disconnecting, man. Yeah, I probably need to buy a better one. No, it's fine. Mm, cool. I'm stupid, but anyway.
So there we go. Like I said, for now, we're setting it just for this one little area. But when we start making more places on our map, we're going to have more places that we're going to need to bound, which means that we're going to have those two variables, the max and min position. This is why I made them public. We're going to need to assign those in code based on which room our player is currently in. So like if our player's in this room, these are the max and min positions. If the player's in a different room, the max and min positions are going to be different. Yeah, so I guess I am going to go over tiled. That'll be the next lesson next time. Because this, man, it doesn't happen consistent. There we go, it just happened. This tearing bugs the heck out of me. Actually, let's look. I know that there's a few things we can do. Okay, so if we go to Edit, and then Project Settings, and then Quality, there's a few things in there, but I thought I turned them all down. Yeah, anti-aliasing is disabled. So is anisotropic. Textures, texture quality. None of that should have been an issue. The anti-aliasing sometimes will do it. All right, anyway, we'll make it in tiled. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the description down below. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter to find out when I post a new video, or you can join me on Discord, where I'm chatting pretty much every day. And yeah, have yourselves a wonderful day.
Man, what the hell is happening?
Hey there. So, well,
Mm, yeah, that's pretty weird. Anyway.
welcome back. Today, we're going to take a look at creating our maps in Tiled, a program that I much prefer to use because we get these weird tearing issues with the standard Unity tile map editor. There we go. I don't know if you guys could see that. Maybe the frames per second is too low for you to see it, but where we left off last time, we have a camera system that follows our player. Our camera is bounded to where we tell it to be bounded in the world, so we're not seeing any weird stuff on the outside that we don't want to see. But I just want to remake my maps a slightly different way here. So let's get on that. So I have tiled open here, and what we're going to do is choose to make a new map. I'm going to make mine 25 by 25. I don't want to make a giant map. I want to make, instead, a series of small maps and have them interlock with one another, which is more in line with what happens in A Link to the Past. So, map size fixed, 25 by 25, and 16 by 16 pixels. Orientation is orthogonal, and I want my render order to be left down, meaning it starts at the top left corner. So I'm going to choose Save As, and I'm going to call this Overworld Test. Okay, cool. Now, just a quick rundown of what you see here. On the left, you see your properties. On the right, you see your layers, and underneath that, terrains and tile sets. From here, what I want to do is create a new tile set. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to call this Overworld. Zero margin is to be the that I had to select the first tab toolbar, and I'm this turn control side all the way starting in the south here, one side to the other, just like I did. So, however, I'm going to call this collisions to them just my tile sets. Right, two, there, grabs. So, version, I don't have quite as many decorations. A new layer, I can show if I choose collisions or I get to that. So, collision there have to be. So, I'm going to grab this line around. This time I'm going to reasons I'm around final on my clue. I want it in. Say, let's open the. Or I think they're. This comes. I want to find a map. Oh, and correctly. So I'm going to set my scale to be 0.0625. by 0.0625. If you didn't know, 0.0625 is 1/16th as the way it should. Okay, so moving around my min value, and then yeah. So if you have any questions, put yourselves a wonderful day.
Room transitions.
Hey there, welcome back. So where we left off, we have our system set up where our camera knows the bounds of the room, and it will smoothly follow the player along. Right now you can't see quite too much smooth because I have my smoothing set pretty high, which means that it jumps right to be where the player is as soon as it possibly can. But today we're going to be adding one of my favorite effects, which is that Zelda-like room transition, where when you go to the edge of a room, once you reach the edge, the camera will immediately pan up very quickly and then recenter itself on the player if it can, or at least have new boundaries. So this is actually much simpler than you would think it is, so let's get started. So very first thing I did is I made another room in tiled, and if you want to, if you're still working with the Unity tile system, you can absolutely still keep doing this. You can just even continue your old tile map. You don't need to make a new one. You can if you want to, but I mean, you can just continue. And your room doesn't need to be exactly the same size as your first.
Good. So, what do we do here is make a new room.
One either, which is kind of the cool thing. Your room can be a completely different size, and that's okay. In my case, I made one that's the exact same size, just because I kind of have this vision in my head of a world where I have a certain number of tiles left and right, and those tiles each represent unique rooms. So that's just kind of how I want to go about it, kind of similar to the very, very original NES Zelda. So I have my new room, which I called Room 2, very creative, and I linked it up to my first room. And my first room here, which I called Overworld Test, I put it at 0, 0, which puts the origin right up here. Room 2, because I know that these rooms are exactly 25 by 25, I'm just going to put that at 0 on X and then 25 on Y, which makes them sync up pretty perfectly. So that's all the setup I've done off camera. This room I did a really bad job. I was kind of trying to rush as much as I possibly could, so my colliders on my body of water here are a mess. It would have been much easier if I just took the simple line collider and went all the way around. That would have been so much better than what I did. This is a bad job. Don't judge me. Okay, so what we want here, and let's talk about the logic. So
Good. So yeah, new room time. Anyway, I'm gonna call you um pawn room. It's at 0, 0. Good. Cool. So now let's make a room here. Or actually here. Let's make another room. To the object, tile map, rectangular. Red tile map, and I'll call it ground. Let me take my tile palette. Put this here. I can place it anywhere. Cool. I'll call it. Fuck. And I will call it. Actually, secret. We have the ground thingy. Hmm. Let's get to work. Now, what I have planned here is much like maybe something like this. We will have not fuck. We'll have like I'm still making the ground, so we have things like this all over the place. Maybe a bit of grass. Where's the grass? There we go. And a bit of grass right here. So this will be maybe like a small beach. Take like this, this, and then this one right here. This one here also. I put this here. So I'm not really happy with this grass. So put maybe right here. Oh, I can. This one here actually can't really do much about it, can I? Yeah, I can't. So we take this and put here. Good. Um, nice, cool, 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 cool. Now I take this. Bum, bum, bum. Mm. Yeah, there are some limitations, but not a problem, not a big deal. while, so. Hmm. Good. Good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Um. Now, now, we do spawn room, round, round. Um, just do fill it up with water, really. Just don't know how far we'll go. Doesn't really need to be that big. Now we do. This would be the entire thing essentially. Let's do like maybe here. Yeah, nice. Maybe here. Oh shit. What? Oh, this has to be another thing. I'll put that on collision. So, the round is already done essentially. Let's make another one. Tile map, rectangular, beam, collision. Oh, should I? Yeah, let's make a collision. No biggie. Cool. Collision, collision, collision. Oh, let me actually just put it right here. No, this. Where is it? Mm, this isn't right. Let me just fill this up. Oh, right, right. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I'll deal with that after. Mm, casually here. Mm, I think that's good. Now we take the tile map collider. We take a rigid body 2D. And we take a composite collider 2D. By composite. Body collider. I can see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. Collider. So yeah, it's static. Mm, good. Now another one for tile map decoration. Decoration. Let's take. Hmm, Stipple sky. Hmm, what else, man? What else? I think for this one is good. Let me just put some flowers. Put a little bit. I still have to set up the collisions. Now I just have to do one thing here, which is this. Good. I believe everything here is set up. I just need to change stuff here. Few things here. And, collision. Hmm, good. Alright. What? Where is it? There you go. Hey, you with the bird face. Welcome to the celebration. And today. Hmm. And it happened again. No, wait, why is it vanishing? I don't know if this changes anything. Hmm. Curious. Hmm. What the hell? What a weird bug. And what? I don't know what is happening. But anyway, I got what the hell, man? Remember collision. Set this up to collision. Decoration. Set this up to decoration. Ground. Set this up to ground. Good. Good. Let's see that. Mm, good. Oh, it fixed that. It's just the sorting layer thing. Good, 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 good. That's good. Now let's see that. Spawn, secret room.
So right now our camera is bounded at this position. What we want is we want to create a really small trigger zone right here, right where we're going to switch between rooms. And when our player touches that, we want to then tell the camera to change where its bounds are. And that change might be up or down, it might be left or right, or it might actually be both, depending on the size of your room. If you're going to a smaller size room, then your X bounds need to change as well. If you're going to a larger room, then both your X and your Y bounds need to change. But what's going to make it actually snap up the way it does in Zelda is that change in the Y, because we have our camera set to clamp to be no less than its minimum position, and if we adjust the minimum position, it's going to automatically want to compensate. And because we already created that smooth follow system, it's going to do so in a nice, smooth fashion. So, first thing I want to do is I'm going to create an empty game object, and I'm going to call this room transfer. All right, now I'm going to place this pretty much at the seam between the two rooms. So my X position, I'm going to put it at 14, and I'm going to put my Y position at, let's do negative 0.5, because I want it inside this room. Now, I'm going to add a component to this, and that's going to be a nice 2D collider. So I want a box collider 2D. And if you zoom in, you can see in this light green where the default origins of that are. I want to make this nice and small, so it's just, barely there at all. So if you go over to the box collider, click Edit Collider, I'm going to drag this to be right at the width of the transition there, and then I'm going to make this.
Wait. So we created empty game object. Minimize that. Create a group for that. I'm gonna call it room room trigger, and then spawn secret. Trigger spawn secret. Then I'm gonna add a. Actually, gotta move that right over here. Add a box glider 2D. Edit glider. It's so bright, I can see it. Okay, so you can edit that. Good. Gonna leave between all you both.
Right at the width of the transition there, and then I'm going to make this nice and tiny. So that's going to be my my trigger zone. And to make it a trigger, I'm going to click this is trigger. Cool. A couple more things I need to do here. I need to go to my player. I need to make sure that they have the player tag. So if you just go to tag, player is one of the ones that's built into Unity.
Player. Good.
So just choose player. We're going to be using that tag for some logic here in just a second. So I've got my room transfer right at the edge of the room, nice and small, and I have my player tagged. So let's make a neat script to do this room transfer. So we'll create a new C# script. I'm going to call this room move, how about? And then I'm going to open this up in Visual Studio. I didn't have Visual Studio up.
I know the feeling. I am gonna create C# script. I'm gonna call room trigger. Good. I think there's a way to set this up the way I want it to. Oh fuck.
Up and running, so it's going to take me just a minute for that to get up, and I will meet you back here once that's done. Okay, so Visual Studio is up and running. So what I want to do here is I want to access a pre-built function that Unity has, and that's onTriggerEnter2D. So outside of my start or my update method, I'm just going to call void onTrigger, and I want to do enter2D. And then this takes an argument of the collider, and it automatically calls that collider collision. I prefer to call it.
Right. Void on trigger into 2D collider collision. I'm gonna call it collider.
Something else. So I'm going to call mine other just because it's just how I learned how to do it. And it makes sense to me for it to be the other thing, but whatever. So I got my void on trigger enter 2D, which requires a collider 2D other. Now what I want to do here, I better plug in my computer here soon, so give me 1 second, I'll go do that. Okay, so we've got our on trigger enter 2D. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to check the tag of the other. So I want to say if other dot compare tag, and the tag I want to compare with is capital P player. So meaning we're just checking to see if it's the player that is in the trigger zone.
Right. So if collider compare tag player.
If that's true, then what I want to do is I want to access the camera and change what the camera's offset is. Now in order to do that, I'm going to do a few variables up here in the global variable area. First I'm going to make a public vector2, and I'm going to call this camera change. Not chance, change. I'm going to make another one, which is going to be how much I'm going to shift the player. So this is going to be a public vector2 player change, which is going to be how much I want to move the player. Change, geez. And then the
Right. So public vector2 camera change and public vector2 player change.
last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a quick little reference to my camera movement script. So this is going to be a private camera movement, and I'm going to call it cam, or camera, sure, Visual Studio, whatever you say. Oh, no, it doesn't.
Private movement. Call it
Like doing cam or camera. I'm going to do cam. Okay. Anyway, now I'm going to complete that reference, and I'm going to say cam is equal to camera.main.get component. The component I want to get is the camera movement script. All right, cool.
I don't know what the main is. So cam equal to camera dot main dot component camera movement.
So I have these two offsets. I have my reference to my camera all set up. Now down here in my on trigger enter 2D, we're going to check to see if it's the player. And if it is the player, we're going to adjust in the camera movement, and this is why I made these public, the max and the min position by whatever we want to adjust it by. So in order to do that, I'm going to say in here, okay, sorry about that weird cut. So in here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to grab my camera, so I'm going to say cam dot min position plus equals the camera adjust. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the max position. So cam dot max position plus equals camera change. Now, if you have a room that isn't square like mine, you're going to need to have two different vectors, one for the amount of change to the min position and one for the amount of change to the max position. But that's totally fine. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to change the min position and the max position, and then I also want to move the player however much I want to move them, so that adjustment. So I'm going to do other dot transform dot position plus equals. Can I do plus equals like this? I think I can.
don't think that's gonna work for the way I set up things. So if this was already been mentioned, but to reduce the amount of objects you need for room transitions, you can add a bolt that flips when you go, and just have the code do the opposite when you hit the same trigger. Compare tag player, can be max camera, trigger on true, else compare better than player change. Nice. Thank you from Nom Square Rooms. Instead of using plus, just use done. This way I just set my bounce. Alright. Cool.
Player change. Oh, yep, no, I can't. You can't do that on... Oh, it's because it's vector 3 versus vector 2. Good lord. So I'm going to have to change my variable for player change to a vector 3. There we go. That's cool. So I'm going to save my script here really quickly.
So vector 3, player change. Wait, it's camera change. Or player change. So come cam in position. It's just equals camera change. Oh, camera change. And then cam dot x position camera change. And then collider transform collider transform position equals no. Or can I? Yeah. Then player change. Oh god.
I'm going to pop back into Unity here. I'm going to let that compile for just a second. On my room transfer object, I'm going to add my room move script. As soon as it's done thinking here. Cool. So I got my camera change. Now, my new room is 25 above the old one, but the X positions, the X, min, and max don't need to change. So I really just need to adjust the Y. Now, if I were moving to the left, I'd need to adjust only the X, but not the Y, assuming that...
Good. Now we improvise. Sorry if it has already been mentioned, but to reduce the amount of objects you need from transitions, you can add a bolt that flips when you go and just have to call it the opposite when it hits the same trigger like this. Change max, camera change. From non-square rooms, and instead of using plus equals, I just need equals. This way I can just set my bounds for each room. Good. Save that real quick. Then I'll mess with the other stuff. Just room trigger, room trigger. Camera change. So is it only like take the main camera like this? Main camera. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, to just set the camera to this position. Dang it. Actually, this doesn't work here. This doesn't really work here. Let me just turn on the lights real quick. Yeah, that doesn't work here because I am a Square Room user, but that doesn't. I just think that's really unoptimal because I have to calculate the difference. If I just could set up new boundaries for that. If I just could. Um. Current and developing Xanath community takes place in the house, and each transition between rooms. Additional some rooms are going to have top-down views and other side scroller. The best approach to this case is oh shit. Sorry for that. Spawn. Cool. Something like. What the fuck is this? Instead of making one room transfer into a prefab, I made an empty game object, parent of both room transfer triggers. Hmm. Good. For now, let's just go with that. Okay, let me just take the camera. here would be, so the max it's 3.3, right? Camera movement, max position is 3.3. This is 21, 30, 35, 21, 30, maybe? Yeah, it will be like this. And then then I don't need to change anything. So let's take calculator, and then we will make 21.3 minus 3.3, which would be 18. Good. And then we will just put 8, 18. It can be the same. Player change to X. Let's see if this works. Let us see if this works. Centralize the camera. Player. See if this works. Oh. Low. Let's see.
That the room is the same size. And if I was moving to the right, I would just need to adjust the X again, not the Y, assuming the room's the same size. Now, I'm going to move my player forward a few spaces here. So here is negative 0.5, so like 1, let's say 2. I'm going to move them forward 2 spaces on Y. All right, cool. So let's test this out. I'm going to hit play. All right, I got my player that can walk around. And I'm going to approach this with trepidation. There we go. That nice, neat Zelda-like room transition. Now, that speed of the snap has to do with what you have your...
The boundaries are not quite working. Camera changed. 81, destroyed 25. Record. It won't go farther than this. Shade. Alright, I need a way. Cool, I need a way to set this up, man. To set new boundaries instead of just adding and subtracting. I believe this is way too messy.
Smoothing set to on your camera.
I need new shit. Hmm. Hmm. scale issue. Hmm, tiled, course made. Separate the rooms. Another great tutorial. Amazing. It works beautifully. So I made another tournament. I don't know how to second the grids. Code time. I just have one grid. Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. I think I'm gonna actually finish it right here, and then I will study a bit more of screen to see how can I change this, see if I can set the boundaries for this thing. I'm actually going to try and implement this one here, because I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Um, if you made it this far, I appreciate that. Leave a like if you want, subscribe if you also want. I'll be trying to keep this consistent as much as I can, trying to post new videos every day. And well, goodbye.